Hey guys, just a quick S&P 500 update. So I'm using ES Futures, SPY, and SPX to track different levels and try to figure out where I think price might go. So this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. This is not trading advice. Make sure to do your own homework. So a couple days ago when I posted my last analysis, we were looking at the 4460 level, and we were kind of like fighting all around that level. Um, and at the end of the video, I had said, obviously you can see it going either way always. But I thought that we would probably dip a little bit below. That was based on some of my other indicators that I'll show you in a second, and then come back and start fighting on it again. So we did. We bounced all around it, tested it from different angles, and then ended up going down. So we're looking at a 10-minute chart right here. I'll zoom out to the 30-minute chart just to kind of like fast forward a little bit. And then, so there's the dip below, and we consolidated and based a little bit. And now we're back up, right back at the 4.4. Now we're approaching 4.465. Okay. So based on the gamma research I've been doing for the OPEX, it's the quad witching, which is basically, if you don't know what that is, it's just a bunch of expirations happening starting today with the VIX expiration, and then Friday is just a ton of different futures, options, everything is expiring on Friday. And then we have the FOMC Fed meeting next week, which everybody's anticipating in terms of tapering and what are they going to say, and just the kind of the usual stuff there that's been going on the past month or two. So the levels that I'm looking at, I have every $10 plotted out here on ES in gray, but the real main level that I'm looking at going into Friday is the 4450 level. I think that that's where I see a ton of positions building in terms of options and hedging. That's the gamma that I'm talking about, building around 4450. And then you see the bookends out there. So kind of like the outer range of what I'm looking at and seeing 4,500 and 4,400. So the crazy thing is that even though you see a ton of positions building right around this 4,450 level, the volatility looks like it's going to be kind of crazy too. So that's why I have these like really wide bookends or wings out here. That's kind of like the range that I'm expecting personally for it to trade within. And then, obviously we can have some positive momentum, some negative momentum. Like right now we have all this positive momentum, and if you zoom in just a little bit to the 10-minute chart here, typically I like to look at this 10-minute chart and look at what levels it's basing off of. So you can see this morning we came down off of the 4450, and then we based on the 4440, and then finally came up, and we really tested this 1, 2, and then on the third test we broke through the 4450 level, broke right through the 4460. But we switch over to some of the momentum indicators, and you can see we're pretty topped out. Like look at stochastic, look at RSI. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's kind of like as high as we're going to go for maybe today, or at least like the next couple hours. And then we're going to work our way back down to 4450. Now, I could be totally wrong here, and sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. But what I expect to see over the next 24 to 48 hours is lots of just wild. I mean, it may stay down here for a while. It may stay up here for a while. But I personally expect it to end on Friday somewhere around 4450, or at least hit that level at some point during Friday. So how am I playing this personally? And this is not trading advice. I have a couple of butterflies. Like what I'm doing is waiting for price to get away from 4450, and then I'm putting butterflies on 4450 on SPX and SPY, just because they get really, really cheap when you get away from the price, and then you can put them on there for $5 or, on SPY, or 30, 25, $30 or something on SPX. And then if it ever works back and ends up staying there or ending there on Friday for a while, then those are going to be worth a lot of money. It's a kind of a crazy return. So those are kind of like my lottery plays that I play, just when I want to. It's almost like a fun game for me, just to pin an actual number. And I earlier when we were like just basing right down here, I did put a few butterflies way up here at 4,500, and then like just a few down at 4,400, just in case. I mean, they were almost nothing to put them on. And, it's a big win if it actually ends up going way out there or at least approaches it. And then also what I'm doing is I'm just during the day, like intraday, day trading, the way I play these big swings that I'm expecting is like when it works way up here and then I see the momentum start to die off and I see some of the overbought, oversold levels approaching overbought in this case. Then as soon as I see it start to turn down, then I'll put on a few vertical spreads on SPX most likely. So I'll sell a few vertical call spreads at about a 40 delta or so, and very short-term expiration on those. And so they'll be like expiring, I mean, in some cases today, but most likely like Friday, 2-3 days out. And then I wait for price to fall and I close them. And kind of like wait until all these levels get way down here. And then I close them and then I wait for it to start going up and I put on vertical put spreads. And I just kind of like ride these big old long waves. And most of the time when I'm doing that, it's on a 30-minute chart. So just a few plays that I'm doing and a few levels that I expect, kind of the price action that I expect. I also should mention that, let's go to the daily chart here and come out just a touch. And actually we can go, well, I'll leave it here because I want to show you something on RSI and stochastic. So check this out, 50-day moving average right around 4,400. I'm sorry, wrong. Right around, it's 44.17, but 44.25 was the number that I had in mind with where we might touch the 50-day moving average. But if let me go to the big chart real quick and just show you this right here. If we look at the 50-day moving average, not saying that it's some magical line, but it's not a coincidence that the past few sell-offs have ended right at the 50-day moving average. And that's where we're approaching. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if this is like a bottom in terms of this particular sell-off, but it's not a magical line. We could easily just go boom and go right down to the 100-day. And as you can see, we are very far away from the 200-day moving average, which is a lot of people, that's kind of what they're talking about right now, is just how far we are away from that 200-day moving average. And at some point, we're going to have mean reversion, even if it just comes down to the 100-day, just to get that gap closed a little bit. It can't just keep going and going. It just doesn't happen that way. So that's one thing. And then we also have a rising trend line that's not on this graph from one of the lows. I think it was back in November of last year, maybe. That's right around the same exact area. So I definitely think we're going to get some kind of bounce at some point. Maybe today it starts, or maybe it's in the very near future right here. But that doesn't mean it's not going to bounce and then come right back down. Going back to the momentum indicators also, or overbought, oversold indicators, you can see that we're dancing right around the 50 level of the RSI 14, which is standard RSI that everybody typically uses, the default setting. And as you can see, these past few sell-offs have stopped right there, right around that. Doesn't mean it's a magical number and it's going to, but kind of coincidental. Also, you can see that on stochastic, let's just call it the 55 or 58 level, something like that, maybe even the 60 level, is right about where we've stopped on the past couple sell-offs as well. So what that means is really we're just kind of at a pivot point, possibly to the upside, but really an inflection point. And you see the number that's right in the middle of my chart up here. It's 44.50. And that's another reason why I'm really focused on that level. So anyways, guys, I hope this helps you guys make your own trading decisions and just kind of information that you can use in conjunction with other stuff to make successful trades. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and you'll get free chart analysis alerts. And please like this video if it was helpful. Thanks, guys.